Hello, welcome to our ongoing journey through rhetoric and composition and a continuous tour of the various decor of my apartment. Today I am going to talk about the position argument. First, I just want to emphasize some things about choosing a topic for the position argument, and then I'm going to talk about the elements of a position argument. Let's jump in. The first thing I want to talk about is identifying an interesting issue that merits your taking a stand. I cannot emphasize enough how much easier this assignment will be if you choose a topic you're interested in. This is actually true for all of the assignments. That's why we let you choose your topics. Instead of worrying about choosing like an academic topic, think about debated topics that you actually care about, even if they don't seem like what someone else might consider a serious debate. If you choose a topic you're interested in, your research will be more engaging. It'll be an exciting experience for you. You'll write better because your passion and enthusiasm for the topic will show through. And basically, when you're engaged with your topic, the writing you produce about that topic is infinitely more engaging. So whether the issue you choose is serious, lighthearted, or something in between, it has to be debatable in that it lends itself to genuine disagreement. Both sides have to be able to be argued from a researched, evidence-based point of view. Often, you'll encounter issues for which the possibility of potential resolution or productive argument is small, and usually these are either extremely narrow or extremely broad and complex issues with numerous stakeholders. So you could argue about these issues. They can be extremely challenging to write about in an effective way. If you are interested in a major issue, such as like income inequality, instead of trying to address the entire topic, consider writing about one clearly defined aspect of that issue. Because in general, the more local and specific your topic, the easier it will be to identify and speak to the audiences that care about your issue. It may even be helpful to identify a close friend, family member, teacher, or classmate who disagrees with you about your position on a given topic, and write your position argument with this person in mind. So I want to make a note about one specific topic that seems to run into a lot of issues, which is gun control as like a paper topic. I'm not going to forbid pro-gun rights position papers. I don't think that is ethical at a public university or like my place to be the thought police. But there are two bad moves in terms of just like persuasive argumentation and like credibility that I've seen across nearly every pro-gun rights essay I've received that I want to warn against. And when I say every pro-gun rights essay, or like nearly every, I mean that like every single one has engaged in at least one of these things. So these essays often argue from the false premise that the Second Amendment is in danger of being abolished, or that some like unidentified force is coming to take everybody's guns away. This premise is never accompanied by evidence or sources because it is a false narrative. There is no one, at least in a serious policy position or in like a predominant place, that is advocating for abolishing the Second Amendment or taking away everybody's guns. The real ongoing debate is over gun control measures and how severe or how lax those measures should be. So the second issue is interpreting the Second Amendment without any sources to back up that interpretation. I highly doubt that any of you are constitutional lawyers. So you need to look into competing interpretations of the Second Amendment if you're going to incorporate it into your paper. The meaning of the Second Amendment is itself a subject of debate. So pointing to it as incontrovertible evidence for your stance is a weak, uninformed move unless you're speaking from a researched standpoint. A connected issue and a personal pet peeve is making claims about the Founding Fathers and their intent in the Second Amendment. Again, these claims, in my experience, have not been backed up by any research. The founding and early national eras are my area of expertise. So, when people get something wrong about it, because a lot of times these things aren't just like so vague as to be like, I guess true, but not useful. They're just like often completely incorrect or make false assumptions. You do not want to step to me on the Founding Fathers without sources. I will take it personally and I will crush you. Like in terms of like knowing more about the Founding Fathers, not in terms of like you'll get in like trouble or like it's like just like I know more about it than you do. And then if you talk about the ideas, thoughts, intent of the founders in your essay, my response is going to be which one? Because it's impossible to make broad blanket claims about the founders' intent because they disagreed with each other constantly, which is what someone would know if they were coming from a research standpoint. Also, the founders' intent wasn't even to put the Second Amendment in there. If you're talking about the writing of the Constitution, that's why it is an amendment. If you'd like to know more about that, please feel free to reach out. If you account for these recurrent pitfalls, then by all means, write a pro-gun rights position paper. And I want to emphasize that I welcome all perspectives. This is not an issue of like ideological disagreement or like a difference of opinion. This is an issue of research and evidence that I see come up with this specific topic. So I welcome all perspectives, so long as those perspectives are founded in fact and backed up with researched, credible evidence. So what is a position argument? It's the assertion of a point of view about a contestable issue supported by reasons and evidence. In a position argument, you'll use ethos, logos, and pathos to help your audience understand your point of view or possibly even accept that viewpoint themselves. You are the speaker and writer now, using rhetoric to appeal to your audience. So, some common features of a proposal argument. Vividly describes a problem or issue. It'll be directed toward an audience with a clear connection to or an investment in the problem being addressed, as well as a clear understanding of that audience's values and beliefs, right? Like you're not going to write an essay trying to convince someone of something that they don't give a shit about, or convince someone to take a position on a specific issue that they don't give a shit about. People have to care to be convinced. Arguments include a thesis statement that clearly and concisely states the writer's claim or position. A position argument will provide background information about the issue and establish why this issue matters. Like I said, for your audience to care about your opinion on the issue, you have to make them care about the issue itself. A position argument is also going to provide good reasons in support of the writer's position, and each supporting reason will take into account the audience's beliefs, attitudes, and values. It will contain specific, convincing evidence that support each reason. So evidence can be details, examples, direct quotations, statistics, anecdotes, research findings, testimony, etc. I'll also be linking on our Canvas page to a video lecture that's specifically about using evidence responsibly. A position argument will acknowledge counter arguments, that is, positions that are different from or maybe even opposed to your claim. So you should consider, accommodate, or even accept, if possible, some or parts of those counterarguments. It boosts your ethos by showing that you're aware of the conversation surrounding the issue and that you've considered it from all possible angles before reaching your position. That is, that like you've considered all possibilities, like all possible opinions before arriving at your own opinion, which suggests that your opinion is the best opinion possible. Finally, you'll appeal to your reader's values by describing the benefits that will be achieved by responding to your position in the intended way or explaining the negative situation that will result from ignoring it. Just some things to consider as you draft. You want to ask yourself some of these questions. What is the issue that prompts your taking a position, making a claim? But what I mean by ask yourself these questions is like these are questions that you should be answering in your position argument. What is your explicit claim? What exactly, specifically, are you arguing? What reasons support the argument you want to make? How do you know you're right? What evidence or examples can you provide to persuade readers that each supporting reason is valid? What else has been said or done about this issue? You want to consider which supporting reasons are most likely to resonate with your specific audience. So how might you adapt a reason or two to accommodate the interests of your audience? Try to shape your arguments around the beliefs, attitudes, experiences, and capabilities of your audience. And make sure to consider what counterarguments you need to address. And then you want to think about what exactly do you want your audience to do? Do you want them to feel more confident in their current position? Listen to and consider an overlooked position? Or make a change in attitude or take a specific action to address the problem you are trying to resolve? A note, there's a section-by-section guide, as in like introduction, body, paragraphs, conclusion, to writing a persuasive position argument on pages 149 to 151 of the NHG. That tells you what should be happening in the introduction, body, and conclusion of a position argument essay, and I encourage you to make use of that. All right, so that's it for this video lecture. I don't know why I keep talking like this. I need to really work on outros and intros. I'm very sorry about that. Bye. I told you. These aren't even all the books I've read. These are just the ones I have on my shelf.